base, Luke. Shortstop, number 10, Clay Ballard. Right field, number 13, Durant.
I have seen the Tigers a number of times this year, and I can tell no difference between those two boys pitching, except one's left-handed and one's right, and that's all I can tell you. They both fired.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Ryan Clem.
So they're going to go with
Ryan
Clem tonight. He comes from the left-handed side. Saylor's also a good pitcher, as you said. Obviously, we saw a great pitching matchup in the first game between Cedric Williams and
Chris Edge from the Dodgers.
In the consolation game, won by the Mets 1-0, but a pitcher's duel there, and very well could be again.
Yeah, you don't normally see pitchers duels in one of these things. I mean, I realize that pitchers come to the top, but they had a 4-hitter by Chris Edge and a 2-hitter by Cedric. And they made the 4 hits count for them. They got 1 run in the first inning and held it up the rest of the way to win 1-0 in the first game. It was a really, really good game.
Well, all right, the Cubs have already been introduced. They're introducing the Tigers now, and we'll be back with the first pitch in 30 seconds right here on AM 1380 WHRS.
Pogo's Hamburgers on North Main in Winchester is once again proud to sponsor the Little League Game of the Week. Pogo's, the place in Winchester for meal deals like a...
Right field, number 9, Patrick Roach. The remainder of the team, number 11, B.T. Maston. Number 6, Mark Midden. 15, Jacob Martin. Number 2, Sean Carter. Number 4, John Rump. Manager William Perry, coaches Don Parsons and Tim Maston. And we will get the mic fixed.
If I'm not correct.
The thing about it is, most of them, after they get into high school, they go into other sports, but that's fine. Danny Thomas, of course, going to Eastern Kentucky University on a football scholarship. Chad Higgins going to Kentucky State University on a football scholarship. He also turned to football. Clinch their division with a victory over the Red Sox, and West bounced one over the fence, 2-run double. Hit a home run earlier in the week against the Red Sox. Hit one last week against the Indians. So West doing a good job, and we're ready to go. Ryan Clem's first pitch is taken for a strike right down the pike, and this championship game of the Winchester Little League is now underway. Go ahead and set the defense for the Tigers there, if you will. Second pitch swung on and missed, strike 2. So Ryan Clem quickly out in front, 0-2.
For the Tigers defense, of course, Ryan Clem is pitching. David Holt is the catcher. First baseman is Terry Saylor. Josh Price at second. Jared Arthur at shortstop. Bruce Kostelnik at third. Jeremiah Epperson in left. Chris Frazier in center. And Patrick Roach in right.
A pitch taken for a ball, so 1 ball, 2 strike. Pitch on the way, and it's chopped down to the first baseman. It's picked up by Saylor. Steps on the base, 1 away.
And Graham, it would not surprise me tonight to see Clem and Saylor swap. Maybe after 3 innings, if they look like they're trying to get to him, it wouldn't surprise me because they are both can bring heat. Obviously undefeated all year, both pitchers really pitch well.
Stepping in for the Cubs now, number 7, the catcher Jacob Frick, and he quickly fouls one back over the left field fence. So Clem jumps out. No balls and 1 strike on Jacob Frick. Next pitch is swung straight back. Foul ball, 0-2. Let's see, I believe that's Leonard Travis now working behind the plate in this game. Shannon Cox is down the right field line. Pitch is over the head of the catcher, goes back to the backstop, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. I believe that's Roy Turley out at third base, and he was behind the plate in the first game, and I don't know who the umpire is at second base. Do you know who that is?
He has done a few games this year, and I do not know his name, but I can find out in just a moment.
And Jacob Frick swings on a pitch that's a little bit high, and that's strike 3, so now there's 2 away, and that brings up the third baseman, number 9, Brian Embry. So 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Embry squares the bunt, takes a strike. So once again, Ryan Clem jumps out on top. No balls and 1 strike.
Graham, for those patrons who were here in the first game, when you see Mr. Turley call a game, you get your money's worth.
You certainly do. Very animated, and you know who's in charge when he's behind the plate. Next pitch is also swung on and missed, so strike 2, no balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Top of the first inning, no score.
Most people don't see the umpire run more than the entire field does, but he puts some mileage in those shoes.
He really does. Pitch is a little high, taken for ball 1, 1-2. Brian Embry facing Ryan Clem. Cubs versus the Tigers. And pitch is fouled into the dirt. So the count holds, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We just told Jason Worrell is the second base umpire.
Okay.
And he's called 7 or 8 games this year.
And Embry hits one back up through the box. And he's going to leg it out, and I'd say they'll give him a hit as he hit it right up the middle, and it kind of almost went through the legs of Ryan Clem.
Yeah,
in fact, it may have.
Went right by his glove, and I thought did go through his legs. He stopped it and slowed it down, and that slowed it down enough to where the shortstop couldn't get in. Jared Arthur couldn't get into the ball to get it.
So we'll give Brian Embry a hit there, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, Robbie Baldwin, number 15. He'll be pitching tonight, and he takes the first pitch over the plate for strike 1. There's 2 away. Brian Embry, the runner down at first base. And Baldwin takes strike 2. So once again, Ryan Clem jumps out in front early, 0-2. Embry, the runner down at first. Pitch on the way. It gets away from the catcher. And Embry will make it down to second base without drawing a throw. He was inside, got away from the catcher, David Holt.
Little inside. David Holt, I believe, is a 10-year-old for the Tigers. I believe he's awful good little catcher.
And this pitch is high, but Holt does a nice job.
Tremendous save on that one.
I'm not sure how old David is. I know their other catcher, Martin, I'm pretty sure he's 10. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Baldwin takes inside, so the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, and Brian Embry, the runner, down at second base. Ryan Clem, his pitch is fouled off, and Saylor gets over to make the catch.
Nice catch by Terry Saylor.
So Baldwin fouls out to the first baseman, and at the end of 1/2 inning, it's the Cubs 0, the Tigers coming to bat. And we'll be back in 30 seconds right here on Super Hit Country, 1380 WHR.
Graham. Leading off for the Cubs defense is the pitcher Robbie Baldwin, who is their ace of their staff all year long. Jacob Frick is their catcher. First baseman is Luke Willoughby. Matt Johnson at second. Clay Ballard at short. Brian Embry at third. Wes Harrison in left. Johnny Baldwin, the brother of Robbie Baldwin, in center field. And Kenny Garant in right field for the Cubs.
Coming up for the Tigers is Jared Arthur. He'll be followed by Bruce Kostelnik and Ryan Clem. Cubs with the royal blue uniforms with gray pants. The jerseys are trimmed with red and white. The Tigers pretty much all white uniforms with looks like navy blue letters and a lot of orange trimmed there. And we've got a momentary delay. Coach umpire Roy Turley coming in to speak with Leonard Travis.
I don't have a clue what this would be about.
No. Okay. Got a clarification now. They're going to make an announcement and ask everybody who is watching the game in the outfield not to lean on the fence. And I see about 5 guys who have not budged.
That's correct. There appears to be about 15 out there on the fence, and so now they're moving off. They're moving off, but I'd say you have to watch this all night, Graham, or they'll lean back on it, would be my guess.
Well, they're finally made a move. Number of signs out in the outfield advertising, and about 5 guys leaning on Ron Tierney's Roofs Incorporated sign. But we're ready to go. Robbie Baldwin fires to Jared Arthur, and it's over the head of Jacob Frick. So 1 ball, no strikes. The Cubs did not score in the top of the first. They did get Brian Embry on base. He made it as far as second base. Now Robbie Baldwin fires, and pitch swung on and missed by Jared Arthur. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Graham, it's a very nice night, even though we're all used to 95 degrees now, but seems to be a slight breeze out here. The flag's even blowing.
Not bad. Robbie Baldwin took something off that pitch, and Jared Arthur was way out in front of it, so that makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes now. On the leadoff hitter, number 7, the shortstop, to Jared Arthur. This is the year that the Tigers have been shooting for. They've got a nucleus of 4 very good 12-year-olds, but that pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Robbie Baldwin records his first K, but they do have a good nucleus of Jared Arthur, Bruce Kostelnik, Ryan Clem, and Terry Saylor. Tigers managed by William Perry. He's assisted by, I'll tell you, they've got a lot of cumulative years of experience over there. Tim Maston, former president of the Winchester Little League. Donnie Parsons. Pitch swung on.
Former manager of the Red Sox for 10 to 12 years.
Well, actually, he had the Indians before that. He and Gene Bailey coached the Indians. He moved over. He took the Reds, and then he renamed them the Red Sox. And you're going to like this. It's mainly because he liked the White Sox uniforms. They just said Sox. So he got a White Sox uniform but called them the Red Sox. Pitch is down in the dirt, bounces away from Jacob Frick, so the count evens 1-1.
Looks like he's working on his off-speed tonight a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's often the strategy when you're facing the power hitters in the order. You'll try to throw some change-ups, but then pretty much come with all heat, normally to the bottom, say 4 or 5 batters in the order. Pitch right down the pike, taken for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bruce Kostelnik, number 14, the third baseman. No score, bottom of the first inning. Cubs versus the Tigers. Baldwin swung on, and it bounces over the head of the shortstop, Clay Ballard, so a base hit for Bruce Kostelnik. Quickly back into the infield. Clay had moved into position to make the play, and that thing just bounced right over his head.
One hopper, it landed right in front of him and then hopped straight in the air. Of course, this field is awfully hard right now with the lack of rain we've had, so it could bounce anywhere tonight.
So the pitcher, number 12, Ryan Clem, steps in, and pitch gets away from Frick, and Bruce Kostelnik will go on down to second base without drawing a throw. That was one thing I noticed in T-ball this year, too, particularly with the lack of rain. And I think the last 3 or 4 weeks we went with a ball that was a little bit bouncier. And I'll tell you, it really did take some high hops.
And what I saw, that looked like one of those old super balls we had in grade school. That thing was wild the way it bounced.
The 1-0 pitch to Clem is taken high, ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes to Ryan Clem with Bruce Kostelnik down at second base. He got on with a single. Went to second on a ball on a wild pitch. So the 2-0 pitch to Clem and it gets through into left field. Wes Harrison comes over, picks it up, quickly throws it into third base, and Ryan Clem's going to make it on down to second base. So
they had Brian Emery playing a real shallow third base. I believe he could have gotten to that if he'd been playing normal, but they had him drawn in for the bunt.
Right. So a clean swing to left field by Ryan Clem, and he takes second base on the throw to third, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, number 16, the first baseman, Terry Saylor.
Who is the other pitcher, so right. I can see how you'd get that mixed up. Those two are twins as far as I'm concerned.
Robbie Baldwin's pitch, swung on, foul back, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes now on Terry Saylor.
Well, Terry's the cleanup hitter and has hit a lot of nice balls this year for the Tigers to get them onto a 15-0 record. I assure you that.
The 0-2 pitch on the way. Off-speed pitch taken, strike 3.
Boy, great time for off-speed there.
Robbie Baldwin pulled the string on that one. Saylor took it for a call, 3rd strike, and now there's 2 outs. 2
strikeouts and 2 singles is what we've got in the inning.
So the left fielder, number 17, Jeremiah Epperson, steps to the plate. Runners on second and third. Baldwin's pitch is a little high. 1 ball, no strikes. We got Bruce Kostelnik on down at third base. Ryan Clem on at second base.
Jeremiah has gotten to be a real good batter this year for them. He's a 10-year-old, and most people remember him from T-ball when he was 8, was the home run king over in the T-ball league.
And it swung on in a little soft liner out to the first baseman, Luke Willoughby. He makes the catch, and so the side is retired. No damage, and after 1 full inning, it's the Cubs 0, the Tigers 0. Back in 30 seconds, right here on Super Hit Country, 1380 WHRS.
Every day of the week is special at the dining room at the Holiday Inn.
You'll Cartwright, followed by
Luke Willoughby.
Oh, excuse me. What?
Luke
Maybe
Willoughby.
you need to work on your handwriting there. Look.
Well, our 3rd grade teacher wasn't very good with us, Graham. You happen to get a different teacher.
Wes Cartwright played in the first game. Okay. Followed by Clay Ballard and Kenny Grant. At least that's how it's listed now. Many times, Coach Randy Ballard will go ahead and make his substitutions in the 2nd inning, but
he hasn't come over to the scorer's table, so I assume they're still the same people.
Yeah, Luke Willoughby now steps up to the plate, and Clay Ballard does move into the on-deck circle. So Ryan Clem set to bring it to Luke Willoughby. First pitch taken, strike 1. And that's one thing that Ryan has done an excellent job so far is I think he's gotten ahead of every batter.
I don't believe he's thrown the first ball a ball yet. It's all been strikes.
That pitch is swung on and missed, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Willoughby.
That was outside, and Luke went fishing on that one.
Number 14, the first baseman for the Cubs. Pitch on the way, and that's taken outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Willoughby got the final out in the 1st inning on the soft liner. Ryan Clem brings it low, gets away from the catcher. So the count evens up at 2-2. Top of the 2nd inning. Tigers nothing, Cubs nothing. Luke Willoughby, the leadoff batter for the Cubs. The 2-2 pitch on the way is taken high, ball 3. The count's full now, 3-2.
0-2, and now 3 straight balls.
Billy Ballard, the first base coach for the Cubs. Is that Chris Simonson coaching down at third? I believe it is, isn't it?
It is Chris at third base.
Pitch swung on and missed, strike 3.
A late swing, and it was by him when he swung, and it was across the plate for a strikeout.
And that brings up the shortstop, number 10, Clay Ballard. Clay squares the bunt, and it's a strike. I don't know if
he didn't bring the bat back in time. The ball hit the plate on the fly, but he had his bat out there, so he called it a strike.
I couldn't tell if he'd fouled it or just missed it.
Oh, he missed it.
So 0-1. The 0-1 pitch by Clem, and boy, nice catch by David Holt as it bounced in the dirt on the outside part of the plate, but Holt did a super job. So 1-1 is the count, 1 out. Pitch is outside, ball 2. 2-1 on the shortstop, Clay Ballard. pitch is down in the dirt. Ball 3, 3-1. Again, Ryan Clem's the pitcher. David Holt catching. Kostelnik at third, Arthur short, Josh Price at second, Terry Saylor over at first base. The 3-1 pitch on the way, taken strike 2, so the count's now full, 3-2 on Clay Ballard. Again, Epperson in left, Frazier in center, and Roach in right. 3-2 pitch on the way, taken strike 3 on the outside corner.
Great pitch by Ryan Clem. Great pitch.
So 2 strikeouts here in the second inning, and that brings up Kenny Grant, my neighbor, number 13, the right fielder.
Kenny Grant.
Grant squares the bunt, and it's down in the dirt. I guess that's a ball. Okay, he brought the bat back.
I believe he did that time. Yeah, the bat came back then. On deck will be Johnny Baldwin and then Matt Johnson to round out the 9 spots for the Cubs if they get that far.
Grant squares again, and
I don't know. I assume he took the bat back again.
Yeah, it's ball 2.
There wasn't a call from Leonard, so we assume it was a ball.
You can square, but you've got to bring it back, or else it is a strike. And that one's taken for a strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike as Grant squared one more time.
They missed it that time because that was a strike.
Yeah. So the 2-1 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 2. So the count even now, 2-2 on Kenny Grant. 2 away in the top of the second inning, no score. City championship game, Cubs versus the Tigers.
Dr. Billy's just about as animated as Roy Turley was in the first game, Graham.
2-2 pitch outside, and again we have a full count on the batter.
Dr. Billy is coaching first base side, and he is very vocal tonight.
Oh yeah, he gets into it, as it should be. Full count, pitch on the way, taken on the inside part of the plate, strike 3.
Inside corner, and it was a strikeout. 3 strikeouts in the inning, Graham.
Ryan Clem strikes out the side, so after 1.5 innings, it's still 0-0. Back in 30 seconds here on Super Hit Country, AM 1380 WHRS.
No subs yet.
The deli at Gonza's Market is something special. What do you look for in a deli? Freshness, convenience, variety, friendly and courteous service. You get all these and more in the deli at Gonza's Market. The deli customers at Gonza's say their sub sandwiches are the best in town. Gonza's Deli also has 19 flavors of hand-dipped ice cream.
Second inning.
Crawford for John.
Tigers coming up to bat. We've got some substitutions, and as soon as Craig gets them written down, we'll pass them along. Leading off for the Tigers is number 5, the catcher, David Holt. Okay, you got some subs, Bridge?
Yes, sir. Josh Heisel, number 6, has gone in center field in place of Johnny Baldwin. And number 8, Van Crawford, is in at second base in place of Matt Johnson.
David Holt.
Okay, and that's the only 2. All right, David Holt steps in to face Robbie Baldwin, bottom of the second inning. Man, a pitch taken high, ball 1. Still got Willoughby at first, so you got Van Crawford down at second now. Clay Ballard at short, Brian Embry at third. The 0-1 pitch on the way, gets away from Frick, ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes. Bottom of the second, no score. I need to get my binoculars out here. That actually almost looks like Harrison in center and with Heisel over in left, but it's hard to see.
Now, he may have that.
Pitch taken right down the heart of the plate for strike 1, 2-1.
He substituted them because they were both up the next inning, so he'll get those 2 out of the way in batting, is why he's put them in there.
And pitch is fouled back, so the count evens 2-2. Well, I'm a little confused now because I'm trying to pick up who's out there in right field. And that's not Kenny Grant.
That's not Kenny Grant. You're correct.
I need to get my binocs out here. Kind of looks like JR, but I'm not sure.
He didn't tell
Swing
me,
and a miss, strike 3. Once again, Robbie Baldwin pulled the string, and oh, did he foul that off?
He didn't foul that one. Oh, no, he struck out.
Oh, okay. Well, David Holt stood there at the plate, and I thought, well, maybe he got a piece of that.
I don't think he knew the count.
Okay. So Robbie throwing a changeup and gets the strikeout, and that brings up number 8, the second baseman, Josh Price. So 1 away, bottom of the second inning. Pitch taken low, 1-0. We'll wait till during the break here. I'll get the binoculars out. And pitch swung on and missed. Strike one, 1-1. Doesn't that look a little bit like James Russell to you out there?
It does to me, but he sure didn't tell me that JR was in the game, so I don't know.
And pitch gets over the head of the catcher, Jacob Frick, back to the backstop. So well, the count's 1-1. Okay. Pitch on the way, another off-speed pitch. It's bounced down to the second baseman. Crawford picks it up, makes a nice throw to first, 2 away.
That was a very nice play by Van at second base.
And we remember Van last year playing for the Cardinals. in T-ball.
Chris Frazier.
Number 13, the center fielder. 2 away, bottom of the second. Baldwin fires, and it's a hit back to Clay Ballard, knocks it down, and Frazier's going to beat it out. And we'll see what the official score says there. It was a soft liner to Clay Ballard. He knocked it down.
I would say if I was scoring that, I'd have to score that in an error on play, and I'd say that's what they're going to do. But I don't know.
Yeah, they do give him an error. Okay. And I think that's probably the proper scoring decision. Swing and a miss by number 9, the right fielder, Patrick Roach. No balls and 1 strike, 2 out, the bottom of the second. The 0-1 pitch on the way, and Patrick gets a piece of it, and it goes foul just outside of third base, so the count goes to 0-2. See Patrick now wearing glasses. Let's see, does he have them on right now? Father being an optician.
Well, he didn't pay much for them if he did. Everybody else does, but Patrick didn't.
0-2, 2 out. Pitch on the way, down in the dirt, gets away from Frick, and Frazier will coast into second base without drawing a throw. Wait a minute. Oh.
Roy Turley was trying to tell him he could only take 1 base, and that's all he wanted anyway, and then Roy got it mixed up. He told him he could only take 1 base because it went into the dugout.
Oh, okay.
But he was not going past that base anyway.
Okay. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Patrick Roach. Baldwin fires, and it's swung on, and that's knocked down to Van Crawford. Picks it up those, and he's safe. Tell you one thing, Patrick Roach has a lot of speed, Bridge.
He does.
And he flat beat it out. Van didn't charge the ball.
Obviously got that from his mother's side. Yeah, Van Crawford was playing back a little bit and let that ball bounce about 4 times, and he beat it out. They did score that a hit, didn't they?
Well, I haven't seen the signal. I would say so. So the leadoff batter comes back up, and it's popped up, and Crawford goes back behind first base, makes the catch. Nice catch by Van Crawford. That was the leadoff hitter, number 7, Jared Arthur. So that's the 3rd out here in the 2nd inning, and after 2, it's Tigers nothing, Cubs nothing. Back in 30 seconds right here on Big Country, 1380 WHRS.
There's always
Sometimes in the 2nd inning.
I kind of thought you'd see some subs in the Tigers this time, but they sure haven't.
Okay, this is number 6, Josh Heisel. Ryan Clem's pitch is swung on and fouled back. And this is a young man I'm not very familiar with.
He may have been the one that we thought was JR in right field.
Okay, that could have been. He was picked up this year by the Cubs. Swing, and it's hit right back up to the shortstop. Arthur comes up, throws over to first, got the out.
Very nice play by Jared Arthur. Took his time, knew the ball was going to come to him, has a great arm, and gunned him out at first.
So now Van Crawford steps up, number 8, who's now playing second base and is credited with 2 assists in that last, no, 1 assist and 1 put out.
That's correct.
And he lays down a bunt, but it's right back to Ryan Clem, comes up, throws to first, and 2 outs. Well, they had a good idea, but he hit it right back to the pitcher, Ryan Clem, and he quickly came up with it, fired it over to first.
Back up to the meat of the order.
The leadoff hitter, number 12, started in left field, Wes Harrison. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike one. Fourth consecutive championship game being played in by Wes Harrison. Also Robbie Baldwin. He's got speed too.
Yes, he does.
Pitch gets away from... Okay, now we got another catcher in here.
Well, they didn't come in and say it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I have to check and see at the scores booth who came in.
That's Martin. Jacob Martin, number 15. Pitch is high, so the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Nobody on. Cubs nothing. Tigers nothing. Ryan Clem delivers, and it's low. Gets away from Martin. 3 balls and 1 strike.
I believe they did some substitutions, and we didn't pick them up.
Yeah, that's a new second baseman out there. I can tell that.
Mark Midden and right?
Yeah, I'll get the binocs out here in a second. 3-1 pitch on the way is high, ball 4, and Wes Harrison's on. That's number 11. Okay, it's B.T. Maston out in right field.
And the other left fielder's in center field, and that is Ryan.
Mark Midden. Okay.
Right.
So you got Mark Midden in center field, B.T. Maston in right. Jacob Martin catching. I'm pretty sure that's a different second baseman. I don't know if it's Sean Carter. We'll try to pick up a number. All right. We've got Jacob Frick in now, the batter. And he takes strike 1. Wes Harrison, the runner on at first base, he got on a walk. 2 away. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch to Jacob Frick is taken outside, 1-1. And Wes trying to draw a throw down there at first base.
Be ready now.
Trying to lure a throw to first base, and I don't believe Coach Donnie Parsons liked that a bit, and he's told him for sure to throw that back to the pitcher.
Pitch is outside, so the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. On number 7, the catcher, Jake Frick. Clem's pitch is swung on, hit out into center field. Mark Midden's under it, and it gets over his head. It bounces to the fence. Wes Harrison's going to third base. Ball comes into the shortstop. Harrison's being waved in. There's a play at the plate, and it gets past the catcher. Harrison scores, and Jacob Frick may try it. No, he thinks better of it and goes back to third base. Draws the throw. It's too high, and it gets away from the left fielder, and Jacob Frick will come in and score. All right, let's recap it, Bridge. It was a nice hit ball by Jacob Frick. It got over the head of the center fielder. We think that's Mark Midden. It bounced up there next to the McDonald's sign. It was a good throw back into the shortstop, Jared Arthur. They had a play at the plate on Wes Harrison. It got away from the catcher.
The ball was thrown about 3 foot short and hit in front of the plate and bounced over him.
Yeah, it definitely took a high bounce. It got over the Martin's head. And then the throw down to Kostelnik at third was high, and that allowed Jacob Frick to come all the way around and score. And so we've got our first runs of the baseball game. It's now Cubs 2, Tigers nothing, and Brian Embry is the batter. Pitch by Clem is inside. Well, let's see. I'm a little confused here.
On what?
Working on the score. Well, I've lost the count. They don't have any count up on the board. And foul back by Embry.
It's probably 2-2.
Let's see if...
Yeah, you're right. They don't have it up there.
Oh, it's 2-1. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, now we're straight on the scoreboard. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way, and it's low. Ball 3, 3-1 now on Brian Embry, number 9, playing third base. And he's the backup catcher for the Cubs. There's 2 out, 2 runs in. Pitch on the way, catches the outside corner, 3-2. Ryan Clem painting the black. Full count pitch on the way is high, ball 4.
A little high.
So Brian Embry races down to first base, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, number 15, the pitcher, Robbie Baldwin.
Now batting number 15, Robbie Baldwin.
Top of the third inning, Cubs 2, Tigers nothing. Clem's pitch is inside, taking ball 1, 1-0. 2 runs in, and Brian Embry, the runner down at first base.
That was the first walk of the night, and he came back to haunt him as he got in on that overthrow to third base.
Pitch is swung on and fouled off. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't think the scoreboard's right.
It says 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think it's 1-1. Pitch on the way, but Clem is inside, ball 2. Yeah, so 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 away. Embry down at first. Pitch by Clem, swung on and missed, struck 2. Yeah, I knew the scoreboard was wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think that's quite fair to give the Cubs a screw on that when the scoreboard has that wrong.
You got the umpire's official, and
well, that's
that
really
was swung
sad.
on and missed, and the Tigers thought that it was. We'll explain it here in a second. Embry went down to second. Pitch is swung on and missed by Baldwin, and that's the 3rd strike. So now the side is retired, but they thought that was the third strike and the 3rd out of the inning, and the Tigers started running off the field, and Embry heads up, ran on down to second base.
And of course the scoreboard was wrong, and that is a bad situation. Luckily, no harm done.
Kicking off for the Tigers is the 3rd baseman, number 14, Bruce Kostelnik. Another sub in the game for the Cubs, Chris Simonson, has replaced Clay Ballard. Now Simonson's playing 3rd base, and Brian Embry moves over to shortstop.
Now batting number 14, Bruce Kostelnik.
Greg, I would say that is Josh Heisel out there in right field. Robbie Baldwin ready to bring it to the plate. Taken low by Kostelnik. 1 ball, no strikes.
Did you think Heisel wasn't right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm really having a hard time seeing them out there.
Well, it's a haze, as it has been for a couple of weeks around here. Just nothing but a haze.
Pitch taken low by Kostelnik. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit back up the middle. It gets through, base hit, goes into center field. Center fielder brings it up, gets it into the infield, and Bruce Kostelnik is on with a clean single to straight center field.
2 for 2 for Bruce. The ball was up around his shoulders, and he just went out and just punched it hard up through the second base hole.
So that brings up the pitcher, number 12, Ryan Clem, with Kostelnik on first. Clem swings on the first pitch and fouls it down the left field line. Goes out of play. So no balls and 1 strike on Clem. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bruce Kostelnik on first base. Baldwin's pitch high. Kostelnik bluffs the throw, but goes back to first. 1-1. So there's Simonson at 3rd, Brian Embry at short. I believe that's still Van Crawford at second base, and Luke Willoughby at first base. Jacob Frick, the catcher. Pitch fouled straight back by Clem, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, and Kostelnik, the runner, down at first base. 1-2 pitch on the way. Took a little something off of it. It's fouled, and Simonson makes the catch, and Kostelnik's off first base. And, oh, it's a really bad throw to first. Kostelnik goes back, tags, goes to second base, and he's going to go all the way to third base. I think that is Maxim, and he fires it to the pitcher, Robbie Baldwin. Okay, it was a nice catch made by the third baseman, Chris Simonson, in foul territory. Bruce Kostelnik took off
real early. I mean, for
right
a foul
on
ball, he shouldn't have been anywhere near that off the bag.
Took off right on contact. Simonson had him nailed over at first base, but it was a bad throw. Got past the first baseman. And this pitch is in the dirt, and
oh, he would have scored.
I believe he would have.
Yeah, the ball went way up towards the first base line. He would have scored. He thought better, and he stayed back.
Frick did a nice job getting out there, but I'm with you. I believe Bruce may have scored on that one. There's 1 ball, no strike count. It is on Terry Saylor, the first baseman, the 4th hitter in the order for the Tigers. Baldwin's pitch is taken high. 2 balls and no strikes. I think that is JR out there in right field and Heisel in left. I got it figured out now.
Usually Coach Ballard will tell us who's in the game, but he has never told me JR was in the game.
The 2-0 pitch on the way, and that is fouled.
It's out of play.
And it goes out of play right over the Tigers dugout, which is on the first base side. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike now on Terry Saylor. 1 out. Bruce Kostelnik, the base runner, down at third base. Simonson playing very shallow there at third base. Baldwin's pitch is hit right up the middle. It's caught by Baldwin.
Oh.
And this time, I'll tell you what, a frozen rope almost took his head off. Nice catch.
That's the hardest hit ball we have seen tonight by anybody.
Boy, that was a frozen rope, and Robbie just threw that glove out there, made the catch. This time, Bruce got back pretty quickly to third base, but I wouldn't blame him for running on that one.
No, I wasn't going to run, but he didn't have time to run but 2 steps anyway.
That's right.
That thing was there in a hurry. John Rumpf.
And now we've got number 4, John Rumpf. And who's he batting for?
For Jeremiah Epperson.
Okay. Pitch, that looked like a change-up there. Just took a little something off it. I don't know that any of these guys throw curves.
Well, I don't believe they should. I'm kind of one of those proponents that I think they're all a little too young to start doing that to their elbows.
About all you really need is a fastball, and then just take something a little off of it.
A little change-up.
Yeah. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away, bottom of the third. Pitch swung on and missed by Rumpf, 1-1. Bruce Kostelnik still the runner down at third, trying to draw a throw from Jacob Frick. In fact, Brian Embry had run over to cover that time. So the count evens, 1-1. 2 out, bottom of the third, 2-0 Cubs. John Rumpf for the batter. Robbie Baldwin's 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd out here, as there just about always is for the city championship game.
I'd say if you added up, you might have a 700-800 around here. Would you agree?
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Baldwin gets the final out, and after 3 full innings, it's the Cubs 2, Tigers nothing. We'll be back with 4th inning action in just a moment right here on Super Hit Country, AM 1380, WHRS.
Who's going to give you something special for a special occasion? Dairy Queen. Specially decorated, especially delicious frozen cakes filled with the cool and creamy smooth taste of Dairy Queen soft serve. They look great, they taste great, they go great with any special.
Catching, Bruce Kostelnik at third, Jarrett Arthur at short, Terry Saylor over at first. And let me see.
Who have you got at second?
I think that's Sean Carter.
2, Sean Carter.
Pretty sure it is. That's not Josh Price. So then in the outfield, let's see, we had B.T. Maston.
You got John Rumpf in left.
Yeah, Rumpf in left. Okay, we're set. So Midden in center and Maston in right and Rumpf in left. All right. So Luke Willoughby will be leading off for the Cubs.
Luke Willoughby.
He struck out the first time up. Cubs scored 2 runs in the 3rd inning, and that's been all the scoring tonight. Low-scoring consolation game. If you just turned in, that was won by the Mets, 1-0 over the Dodgers. Ball gets away from Martin. So the count's 2 balls and no strikes on Luke Willoughby. Leadoff hitter here in the top of the 4th. Ryan Clem's pitch on the way, taken, strike 1. I believe this is Luke's first year in Little League, and he's been a nice addition to the Cubs.
I believe they did pick him up from minors last year.
He's a big boy. He's played a solid first base for him. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Got a big hit to kind of get the rally going Saturday night against the Red Sox. First hit in what turned out to be a 6-run inning. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Luke Willoughby goes down on strikes. Ryan Clem records another K. And that brings up
Chris Simonson.
Chris Simonson, somebody that you've known since he was about 5.
That's correct. He was on my T-ball teams for 4 years between the...
And he chops it down to third base. Bruce Kostelnik comes up, throws to first, and records the out. So Chris Simonson swinging on the first pitch. And I'll tell you, even at the age of 5, he was about as tall as you were, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, and almost weighed as much as me when he was 5. That's right. He is a big boy, folks, for 9 years old. Yeah, I was had him on my junior T-ball team and then was member of the Braves for 2 years.
And this is James Russell Maxim, and what's going on here?
I don't know. Something happened to Ryan's hand, and he's going over to have somebody look at it over in the Tiger side.
Yeah, he's showing his pitching hand to manager William Perry. Of course, in Little League, the managers, the coaches are not actually allowed in fair territory, so the pitcher has to step over in the foul territory to have a conference. So James Russell Maxim is the batter for the Cubs. He's over having a conference right now with first base coach Billy Ballard. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Cubs 2, Tigers nothing. So JR steps in. And swing and a miss, strike 1.
JR was an awful good ball player in T-ball too, Graham. He was. He could catch that ball and throw it to first every time.
The 0-1 pitch on the way, taken high. Ball 1, count evens, 1-1. Yeah, he played in that All-Star game we had last year and did a real nice job.
Very athletically inclined.
Pitch on the way, and that catches the inside corner. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now on J.R. Maxim. 2 away, nobody on in the top of the 4th. Clem delivers, and that's taken strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Cubs. We move to the bottom of the 4th. Our score is Cubs 2, Tigers nothing. Back in 30 seconds right here on Big Country, AM 1380 WHRS.
Pogo's Hamburgers on North Main in Winchester is once again proud to sponsor the Little League Game of the Week. Pogo's, the place in Winchester for meal deals, like a fully dressed Pogo hamburger, small fry and 16-ounce drink for $1.99. Or try a fully dressed chicken sandwich, small fry and 16-ounce drink for just $2.99. And why not top it all off with one of Pogo's special banana splits? Treat the family to something special tonight. Pogo's Hamburgers on North Main in Winchester.
We're moving now to the bottom of the 4th inning. And we're making some more substitutions. All the starters are re-entering the game for the Cubs except for Clay Ballard. Chris Simonson will still be at third base, but John Baldwin re-enters at center field, Kenny Garant in left field, and Matt Johnson at second base. But you got to give a nice hand to the 9-year-old Van Crawford because he did a nice job in there at second base.
He did an excellent job. And each team has 2 to 3 9-year-olds, and so far they've played right well on both sides.
Not lean on the fence.
So leading off now for the Tigers is the catcher, number 15, Jacob Martin.
Please do not lean on the fence.
Still reminding fans not to lean on the fence out there in the outfield, and not everybody's being totally cooperative.
Jacob Martin.
So Jacob Martin steps in to face Robbie Baldwin, bottom of the 4th inning. Baldwin's first pitch is high and inside. So ball 1. Cubs 2, Tigers nothing here in the bottom of the 4th. Martin, I believe he might be followed by Sean Carter and Mark Midden. We'll see. Baldwin's pitch is high, 2-0.
Yeah, Sean Carter is on deck.
On deck, all right. The 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's down in the dirt.
Hit the plate and bounced way up in the air.
Yep. So 3 balls and no strikes now on Martin. I think he's just a 10-year-old, and he's done quite a bit of catching this year.
Yes, he has.
So 3 balls and no strikes. Robbie Baldwin pitch on the way.
Then he walked him.
All 4. So he walks Martin on 4 pitches. And that brings up number 2, Sean Carter.
Now batting number 7, Sean
Now playing second base. So we've got a runner at first with nobody out. That's Martin. Pitch is high. So all of a sudden, Robbie Ballin having a little trouble finding the strike zone as he has thrown 5 straight balls.
Well, Sean Carter could make you not find the strike zone because he's a very small statue out there, but if he'll take some balls, he might get on. You just don't know in this game anymore.
That's the thing with a lot of the 9-year-olds. Well, he's 10, but not a big strike zone.
Another one out?
Yep, it was outside, so 2-0. That's 6 straight out of the strike zone by Robbie Baldwin, and let's see, looks like Billy Ballard's going to come over and have a talk with him. Momentary break in the action here. Billy Baldwin chatting with his battery of Jacob Frick and Robbie Baldwin. We've got Simonson at third, Brian Embry at shortstop, Matt Johnson back in at second base, and Luke Willoughby at first base. We're ready to go now. Baldwin steps on the rubber. 2-0 count on Sean Carter. Pitch gets away from the catcher, and Martin goes down to third base.
He's into second without a throw.
Second base, not third, excuse me. So it's a 3-ball, no strike count on Sean Carter.
Yeah, he has momentarily lapsed on getting the ball over the plate already, doesn't he? Seven balls in a row, is that right?
Had pretty good command in the first 3 innings.
Well, absolutely.
And this is taken inside ball. No, that caught the outside corner.
Was on the corner.
All right, so it's 3-1 on Carter. And that pitch is over the plate for strike 2, and now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Sean Carter. With Jacob Martin, the base runner, down at second base. He got a walk and went to second on the wild pitch. And this one's fouled back by Carter. So
Hung in there nice then. He took the first swing he'd had, and he fouled it off.
He stays alive. That was a good pitch. Robbie Baldwin eyes the target. 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's taken strike 3. Caught the inside part of the plate.
Came back with 4 straight strikes on him on that time, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And so that's going to bring up another one of our former T-ball Braves, Mark Spanky Midden.
Center fielder.
One away. Martin down at second base. Mark Miller, the batter. Baldwin's pitch is fouled out of play.
Key point in the game. Another 9-year-old up. Had a lot of 9s tonight.
Yeah, and they're up there swinging, too.
Yes, they are.
They're not just necessarily looking for a walk. If it's in there, they're going to take a cut at it. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 pitch on the way, and that catches the outside corner. Strike 2. Mark Midden, a left-handed batter.
Awful nice pitch by Robbie Baldwin there. Outside and low.
So no balls and 2 strikes on Midden. 1 out. Jacob Martin still down at second. Pitch again catches the outside part of the plate. Strike 3. So strike.
After leading off the inning with a walk, he's now come back with 2 strikeouts. And I believe this is BT Maston.
BT Maston. Not only a walk, but 7 straight balls. But now Robbie come back, and he has found the strike zone. And he takes something off that pitch, and it's taken for a strike by number 11, BT Maston, who's now playing right field.
Kind of been a little famine to feast for Robbie, hadn't it? Through all balls, now all strikes.
0-1 pitch, and that's taken for a strike. Daggone, let's see. That's about
I think he had 7 balls in a row and about 8 strikes in a row.
That's exactly right. 9 if you count the one that was fouled off.
Yeah.
So I guess that little conference with Coach Billy Ballard helped. And this pitch, that one's high.
Yeah.
And that's taken for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on BT Maston.
Another 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's right. He's good, too.
Yes, sir.
He's left-handed.
Something's hurting him with it. I don't know whether he swung too hard or something, but his dad's coming out to check him out there.
I don't know if he's holding his hand or his chest.
I don't know. I never did see anything happen. He's right in front of us, but I don't understand it.
I think he's going to come out.
That's unusual.
Okay, so Patrick Roach will, I don't know. I can't tell if it's his right arm or if he's like holding his stomach or his chest, but he went back in the, he goes back in the dugout, so.
Patrick Roach comes up with a 1-ball, 2-strike count on him.
Yeah, he re-enters the lineup.
He's been sitting on the bench.
Boy, that's not an envious position.
No. Man in second in scoring position, and you only have one swing here. You only have one swing, and Leonard Travis, the home plate umpire, was just explaining that to Mr. Roach to make sure he understood that the count was a 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So Baldwin fires, and it's taken low. So the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 out, and Jacob Martin still down at second base. So Patrick Roach inherited a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Baldwin fires, and it's chopped down to Brian Embry. He comes up firing. That's low. He got him. Nice pickup out of the dirt by Luke Willoughby.
Good play by the first baseman.
Tell you what, it's been a good find for the Cubs. Willoughby, and after 4 full innings, it's the Cubs 2, the Tigers nothing. Back in 30 seconds, right here on Big Country, AM 1380 WHRS. Kind of low to first base, but Luke Willoughby got down low and scooped it out of the dirt.
Yeah, looks like all the Tiger starters are back in, I do believe. Graham, if you'll check out there and see if you think, is that Jeremiah in left field? Yeah, it is. Okay.
I can pick up Jeremiah. He's a pretty good-sized young man. Yeah, Roach back in right, and so Shane Frazier is in center. Holt is back behind the plate at catcher, and Josh Price at second base. So we're ready to go. And it's just John Baldwin, the batter. John swings on the first pitch, fouls it back. Yeah, number one, the center fielder, John Baldwin.
Yeah, this is his first at bat. Remember, they had him in play and took him out.
Yeah, he started at center, but then they subbed for him right before he came up to bat. So John Baldwin's first at bat, and he swings, and this one's fouled back. And I believe that grazed the right hand of home plate umpire Leonard Travis. It's no balls and 2 strikes now on John Baldwin. Oh, wait a minute. Now they got 1 ball on the scoreboard. I don't think that's right. And this is hit down to first base. Terry Saylor knocks it down, picks it up, steps on the bag, and John Baldwin is retired.
Nice defensive play.
Yes, it was.
That was a hot shot to first. He had just knelt down to his knee and leaned left and got the ball and just kind of took 1 step over and got him.
So 1 away, and this will bring up Matt Johnson, and he hits one, and it's over the shortstop's head. Goes in for a base hit, makes a wide turn at first, but they quickly get it back into Josh Price. So Matt Johnson in his first at bat for the Cubs. Hits one over the leaping Jared Arthur into left field, so a base hit, and now Wes Harrison steps up to bat for the Cubs, and he takes strike 1.
That was an awful nice hit. That was a straight single over top of the shortstop's head. And shortstop was playing deep, but it was over his head.
Yeah. Wes Harrison, the batter, swing, hits one to straightaway center field, and that may be gone. It is!
Out of here. Out of here.
Home run by Wes Harrison, and I'll tell you, this young man is really coming into his own here in the last 3 weeks of the season.
That was a shot.
Straight center field. The whole Cub dugout comes out. Manager Randy Ballard gives him a big hug. Now the whole team mobs him. And that makes the score Cubs 4, Tigers nothing.
That was out of here right now.
A line shot.
The catcher for the Tigers appears to be very upset about it, David Hope. I'll tell you what, the Tigers are not in this position very many times to be behind in a game, being 15-0.
No, that's exactly right. I guess their toughest opponent this year was the team your son plays on, the Dodgers, and I know they had a couple pretty exciting ball games.
Oh, they did.
Jacob Frick up now for the Cubs, number 7, the catcher. Well, golly.
He's gonna warn him there, and that's a very good warning. I told you David Holt was a little upset. He's got a fiery temper anyway, and I think he's going to kick him out of the game or at least go talk. He took that pitch from the pitcher, Ryan Clem, and absolutely threw a bullet in the ground and went all the way out to center field.
Yeah. Leonard Travis,
I know she was upset after the home run, and there we're trying to calm him down. He's fiery temperature. I guarantee he's fiery.
Well, I think Leonard did the right thing. He didn't throw him out, but he just said, go over and talk to your coach for a second and calm down.
And that was good.
Yeah. So no balls, 1 strike, and this one's way outside, and it gets away from Holt. And he fired that one back to Clem. He's not a happy young man right now.
He's not a happy camper, is he?
So there's no balls and 2 strikes on Jacob Frick. There's 1 out. Well, I tell you, we've had some action here in this inning.
Yes, we
Frick
have.
fouls it off. It goes out of play down the left field line.
Been kind of having a pitcher's duel, and all of a sudden, wham, and 1 goes out.
Let's see. We had a base hit to left field by Matt Johnson, and then Wes Harrison crushed one over the center field fence, and this one's high. And it count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike now on Jacob Frick. 1 away. There's nobody on. 4-2 Cubs, and Frick swings, and a nice stop by Saylor, and he beats Jacob Frick to the bag. Nice play by the first baseman, Terry Saylor. That's 2 nice plays this inning.
That's exactly right. That one was a little harder one because he had to lean way to the right and then get up, and he's a big boy, and he got up and got over to first base quick. Real nice play.
So there's now 2 outs, and Brian Embry steps to the plate. Ryan Clem delivers, and Embry fouls it back out of play. Heading back over toward the minor.
Of course, the mad scramble, 43 people out for the ball, as always. You used to get a free drink here if you got it, and I knew why they ran after it, but now you get nothing.
And
they'll go after it.
Yeah, and that was one reason why they did away with that, was because guys were hurting themselves scrambling after the balls.
Hurting other kids going after the ball, too.
Pitch is high, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike now on Brian Embry. 2 outs. Nobody on. The Cubs have scored 2 in the 5th inning on the 2-run homer by Wes Harrison. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1-2. Clem delivers, and this one's fouled straight back. And 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brian Embry. Clem rocks and fires, and that catches the outside corner, strike 3. So the side's retired, but not until the Cubs pick up 2 more runs on the single by Matt Johnson and the 2-run home run by Wes Harrison. And after 4.5 innings, it's Cubs 4, Tigers nothing. Back in 30 seconds right here on the big one, 1380 WHRS.
Every day of the week is special at the dining room at the Holiday Inn. You'll find breakfast and dinner specials 7 days a week, with lunch specials Mondays, Tuesdays, and
Cubs. And it looks like the whole lineup's back now in for the Cubs. So Brian Embry goes back to third, Clay Ballard to short, Matt Johnson second, Luke Willoughby at first. And the outfield is Harrison, John Baldwin, and Kenny Durant. Jacob Frick behind the plate. So the leadoff hitter for the Tigers, number 7, the shortstop, Jared Arthur.
Graham, we've had 4 hits in the game by the Cubs and 4 for the Tigers. I know it doesn't seem that way with a 4-0 score, but obviously the Cubs have made theirs count. With a home run, it'll always count. But with a man on in front of him with a hit, that gave them 2. You've got Brian Embry with a single, Jacob Frick with a double, Matt Johnson with 1, and of course Wes Harrison's home run. For the Tigers, Bruce Kostelnik is 2 for 2 with 2 singles, Ryan Clem with a single, and Patrick Roach with a single. So Tigers have had 4 singles and haven't been able to get any of them together in the same inning.
Jared Arthur now digs in to face Robbie Baldwin. Baldwin's first pitch is taken high, ball 1. Arthur, Kostelnik, and Clem, and you're saying Bruce is 2 for 2 in the game.
Right. And Ryan's 0 for 1, Ryan Clem. 1 for 2, I mean.
Arthur swings, and that's a base hit right up the middle. John Baldwin goes over, stops it, and he's going to get it back into second base and hold Arthur to a single. But a solid hit right up the middle by Jared Arthur, and that brings up number 14, the third baseman, 2 for 2 tonight, Bruce Kostelnik.
He's hit it hard both times up, too. Is he an 11-year-old for them? I believe he's
12.
11. Is he 12, Bruce is?
First pitch is low, ball 1. 0-1 to Bruce Kostelnik. Baldwin's pitch is swung on, chopped right in front of the plate. Frick has it. He goes down to first base, and they got him. Nice play by the catcher, Jacob Frick.
Well, that ball didn't go 5 foot from the pitcher, from the home plate, did it, Graham?
No, not at all.
It was a high bouncer, and I'll tell you, they got him about a half a step, I believe.
So Kostelnik is retired down at first base, but Jared Arthur moves to second on the putout, fielder's choice. And solid hit down to left field by Ryan Clem. Wes Harrison goes over. He comes up firing to third base, but Jared Arthur comes in to score and give Ryan Clem a double.
That was a nice line shot over the third baseman's head to almost to the fence down there, and he got an easy double out of that.
Ryan Clem is left-handed, and he hit it to the opposite field over Embry's head. Harrison did a nice job getting over, cutting it off, and he flew on to third base. So a run scores. The Tigers are on the board now. The score is now 4-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now the batter will be number 16, the first baseman, Terry Saylor. And he swings and fouls it straight back, 0-1. One out in the inning.
You know, with the top of the order up for the Tigers, you'd like their chances to get a couple of runs here, and then after that, of course, you'll get into the bottom side. So they need to get a couple of runs here to even this game up.
This is a big hitter both ways for both teams. And the number 4 hitter, Saylor. Oh, and Baldwin pulls the string on that one. Saylor's out in front, 0-2.
I thought Terry saw that ball coming good and held back, but obviously not enough.
Ryan Clem, the runner down at second base. One away, the 0-2 pitch on the way, and it's hit down to Embry. He comes up, throws to first, and they got the out at first base, and Clem moves on to third.
And that's what they wanted, was the out at first.
So nice play by Brian Embry. So Saylor is thrown out, third to first, and that brings up the left fielder, number 17, Jeremiah Epperson, with 2 outs, and Ryan Clem, the base runner, down at third base. The Tigers have 1 run in the inning, and Epperson swings and hits it into short right field, and it's caught by Matt Johnson. Nice play by the second baseman, Matt Johnson, as he ran way out into short right field. And so the side is retired, and after 5 innings, it is the Cubs 4, the Tigers 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds right here on Super Hit Country, AM 1380, WHRS.
For all your commercial, industrial, or residential paving needs, call the Allen Company in Winchester at 744-3361. The Allen Company's long...
So Terry Saylor now on the mound for the Tigers. And let's see, for the Cubs, it will be Robbie Baldwin, Luke Willoughby, and Clay Ballard. Well, I see my daughter, Meredith Johns, has finagled a quarter out of somebody to get a sucker.
Well, that surprises everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody.
Yeah. I thought the last words I heard coming out here was nothing. Nothing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Robbie Baldwin steps in to face Terry Saylor, pitching for the first time tonight for the Tigers, and Baldwin takes strike 1.
People in Betaville have heard of her prowess of obtaining cash.
Yeah. 4-1 Cubs. Saylor's pitch is low. Nice stop by Holt. So the count evens at 1-1 on Robbie Baldwin. And that ball is foul, as it was hit right down the first base line. Clem scooped it up. Shannon Cox says foul ball. Well, I'll tell you what, we've had some good ones. Of course, we got to do the Civitan championship game. And,
that was a tremendous
good ball game. And had a lot of these same players Well, I don't know if a lot of them. Of course, I know Robbie Baldwin was on the Rockets. That pitch is taken inside, 2-2. Well, let's see. Wes Harrison was on the Rockets.
Wes Harrison was on the Rockets. And that ball was thrown low into the dirt. And now it's a 3-2 count.
3-2 pitch on the way, and it's bounced right back up the middle, and it gets past the second baseman, rolls all the way to the fence. Baldwin's going to go towards second base, and he goes in standing with a double.
The ball went right past Josh Price. He was running hard to his right and just couldn't snare it, and it went all the way to the fence.
Almost flagged it down there, and then it did get to the fence. Chris Frazier comes up, throws it back in. So a two-base hit for Robbie Baldwin, and that brings up Luke Willoughby with nobody out. Top of the sixth, 4-1 Cubs. And that pitch gets away from Holt. Baldwin's going to go to third, and he doesn't draw a throw.
And he's mad at himself again.
Well,
that's tough pitch. That
yeah,
on the dirt.
He did a nice job just keeping that ball out there in front of him. And this pitch is fouled back by Willoughby. Let's see. They're having a little bit of trouble with the scoreboard. I believe it's 1-1.
I believe it's 1-1.
Yeah.
First one was low in the dirt.
So pitch on the way by Saylor, and that's way inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Number 14, the first baseman, Luke Willoughby. Saylor brings it, and swing and a miss, strike 2. Terry Saylor coming with a little heat. Robbie Baldwin, the runner down at the third base, led off the inning with a double. Went to second on the wild pitch. Pitch is high, full count, 3-2. Of course, in Little League, you cannot lead off. You cannot, well, at least until the ball crosses home plate. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Saylor took a little bit off that pitch and got Willoughby swinging.
Luke is out. The third strikeout tonight for the big boy from the first base.
Now batting number 10, Clay Ballard.
So Clay Ballard now steps to the plate with 1 away, and Robbie Baldwin still the runner. He squares the bunt, and I don't know if he tipped it or not, but it's a strike. It was.
It looked like it was a little way outside, so he must have, because unless he didn't get his bat back.
And this time he puts down a bunt, and it rolls foul. Picked up by Bruce Kostelnik, the third baseman. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Cubs trying to manufacture a run.
Trying to put the squeeze on here, aren't they, Graham?
I don't know if they'll do it with 2 strikes or not.
You wouldn't think they do the chances, but Coach Randy's been in this a long time, and he takes a few chances.
Yeah, I meant to find out. I don't know how many championship games he's been in. Of course, this is his 4th straight one, but he was in some either back in the late 70s or real early 80s. Of course, the Cubs were the champions 2 years ago. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Clay Ballard, and that's outside, so the count evens 2-2. And the Tigers were the city champions in 1989 and 1990. Pitch is hit right back up the middle. Throw to first. Baldwin's going to try to score, and he's in there, safe.
He was safe. It was a good call. It was a good call.
So the ball was hit right back to Terry Saylor by Clay Ballard. He checked the runner back to third base, threw over to first. Ryan Clem fired home to the catcher, but Baldwin slid in under the tag.
2 nice hits. 2 nice throws.
The 9th city championship game for Randy Ballard.
Now batting number 13.
That information compliments of Lisa John.
That's a lot. That's a lot of them.
Swing and a miss by Kenny Garant, the right fielder. So it's now 5-1 Cubs. 2 out. No balls, 1 strike on Garant, and the pitch is outside. Count evens at 1-1. Yeah, I don't know. Randy's been in this game a long time, and he just does a super job, as do all the coaches. I mean, the Tigers have an outstanding staff. A lot of experience over there with Tim Maston, William Perry, Donnie Parsons.
Well, it's a lot to be said if you're a stable and you've been in it a while and you have the same team, because you're always drafting for the future.
2-1 pitch is taken low. Ball 3-1 to Kenny Garant. That pitch is high, ball 4. So Geraint gets on with the base on balls. And that brings Johnny Baldwin up to the plate. Number 1, the center fielder.
And that play that Robbie scored on, he was off with the pitch because that ball was hit hard to the pitcher, thrown hard to first base, thrown back hard to home plate, and he was safe.
Kenny Grant, the pitch was taken for a strike by John Baldwin. Grant bluffed the throw. Well, I mean, it bluffed taken off. They threw it down there, but he went back to first. This pitch is outside, so the count evens 1-1 to John Baldwin. With 2 out and Kenny Geraint, the base runner, on at first base. 5-1 Cubs. Swing and a miss by John Baldwin. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Saylor delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Saylor records the strikeout on John Baldwin, and we're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Cubs did score 1 time there in the top of the 6th. Our score is now Cubs 5, Tigers 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds right here on Super Hit Country, AM 1380 WHRS.
The deli at Gonza's Market is something special. What do you look for in a deli? Freshness, convenience, variety, friendly and courteous service. You get all these and more in the deli at Gonza's Market. The deli customers at Gonza's say their sub sandwiches are the best in town. Gonza's Deli also has 19 flavors of hand-dipped ice cream.
Graham Johns along with Craig Bridgewater. We're heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. I can't tell if we're on right now, can you?
No, I can't. Of course, you've got a headset, I don't, so I don't have any idea.
Testing 1, 2. Okay. All right, bottom of the 6th inning. Cubs 5, Tigers 1. And up for the Tigers will be David Holt, the catcher, Josh Price, and Chris Frazier. Robbie Baldwin has gone all the way on the mound for the Cubs. Jacob Frick is the catcher. Got Embry, Ballard, Matt Johnson, and Willoughby from 3rd to 1st. First pitch is fouled back. And again in the outfield, Wes Harrison, John Baldwin, and Kenny Grant from left to right. So no balls, 1 strike on David Holt. Pitch by Baldwin, and it's hit right back up the middle, and that goes into center field. Base hit for David Holt.
That was a big hit. He reached right out there over the plate and stroked it right up past Robbie's feet.
And he steals second base, and I'll tell you the truth, Craig, I wasn't watching all that close.
Well, he was about 5 feet over the bag, and the minute they threw the ball back to the pitcher, he took off.
Okay.
He's trying to do everything they can to get some runs. They're behind 4, and they've got to do something the last inning.
Well, this young man is a competitor, no question about it, and that brings up
Josh Price.
Josh Price, number 8, the second baseman. First pitch taken for a ball. 1-0. So David Holt leads off with a clean hit, and he takes second base on the throw back into the pitcher. Pitch taken. I'm not sure what the call was. I think it was a ball. Yeah, ball 2. 2-0 now on Josh Price, second baseman. Baldwin's 2-0 pitch, and that's strike. Right across the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. David Holt, the base runner, and let's see, we've got Chris Frazier on deck. Baldwin's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2, 2-2. So the count evens, nobody out, runner on second. 2-2 pitch on the way is fouled back by Price.
If Price can get on base and put a little drama at the end of the 6th, wouldn't it, Grant?
That's exactly right. All it takes is 1 more to get on, and then you'll, barring a double play, would definitely get back to the top of the inning.
Right.
Top of the order, excuse me. Price, Frazier, Roach, and then Arthur. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Robbie Baldwin, and that brings up Chris Frazier, the center fielder, with David Holt still down at second base. Chris is a big boy. He's an 11-year-old. Where's number 13? Baldwin delivers, and it's chopped, goes foul.
Hit the plate and bounced out.
Bottom of the 6th inning. What could be the final at bat for the Tigers, trailing 5-1.
We talked about the crowd earlier, Graham. It looks like it's grown since the game has begun. There's a big crowd in right field.
Yes, there is. Baldwin delivers, fouled back. Count goes to 0-2. I was listening to the Atlanta Braves announcers the other night debating, what do you do on an 0-2 pitch? The old myth that you throw one away, it doesn't necessarily apply. And that's taking strike 3.
Well, he didn't throw that away.
No.
That was a strike.
And that's 2 outs, and the Tigers are down to their final at bat. And it will be number 9, Patrick Roach, the right fielder. Runner on second, 2 outs.
He already has a single.
And swing and a miss, strike 1. So you can kind of see a little bit of a smile on Robbie Baldwin's face right now. He's starting to feel it.
Yes. If Patrick can get on, it will keep the inning going for the top of the order, as we said.
Pitch is high. Taking 1-1.
He wants Patrick. He doesn't want to start all over again.
Oh, that's exactly right. And as we noted earlier, Patrick does have a lot of speed. So if he can chop one, he's got good speed and might be able to beat it out. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's high. That's taken 2-1.
Be kind of a bad pun to say he's got good eyes, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That does kind of remind me. I remember when John's partner Wally Williams' son was playing, and he had trouble at first base one time, and it was because he needed new glasses.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 out. For David Holt, the runner down at second base. Robbie Baldwin winds, delivers, and it's a slow roller to Brian Embry. Embry comes up, throws to first, and it gets away from the first baseman, Luke Willoughby. 1 run will score. Patrick Roach goes down to second base. Willoughby just fires it to Robbie Baldwin, so another run crosses the plate, and that makes it 5-2 now. I'll tell you,
that's probably an error on the third base throw on that one, I would think, Grant.
May well be. There's absolutely no substitute for speed, though, and Patrick does have good speed. He's a left-handed batter. He throws right-handed and bats left. It was a slow roller down to Brian Embry, and he kind of rushed it, which you have to do, and he threw low to Willoughby, and it got past him. So now Roach is down at second. Jared Arthur, the batter, and he takes strike 1. So it's now 5-2 Cubs.
And this is not what the Cubs wanted, was the beginning of the lineup back up, but with 2 outs, you still like their chances.
And this one's hit right up the middle, and it drops in for a base hit. And Patrick Roach is going to stop at third base. And John Baldwin just sort of walks it into second base and now flips it on to his brother Rob.
Well, he wasn't going anywhere because there's no sense of getting thrown out at home plate. It's not the tying run.
No reason at all. So now Bruce Kostelnik, who's 2 for 3 on the night, steps up. The third baseman, number 14. What did he do last time up?
Kostelnik, he was 2 for 2 and got out last time. He was the one who hit this little chopper right in front of the mound, right in front of the catcher.
That's right.
And the catcher, Jacob Frick, had a great play. He went out and picked it up in the corner of the grass and threw him out at first.
There was 2 outs and 2 on, and a pitch taken for a strike. And Arthur bluffed, but did not take off. A lot of times with runners on first and third, for some teams that's automatic. I don't know if the Cubs would throw down in this situation or not. No balls and 1 strike on Jared Arthur. Baldwin delivers, and that one's fouled off. So it's no balls and 2 strikes. So this third out a little tough to get right now for the Cubs.
Well, Bruce Kostelnik is an aggressive hitter, and he will swing at anything coming near that plate, I assure you. He's 12 and a pretty good-sized boy, and he can hit the ball.
We got 2 outs, no balls, and 2 strikes. Runners on first and third. Roach on third. Arthur on first. Pitch took a little something off that one, and it's fouled. So Robbie's come with
ball.
Huh?
I never saw the ball. He swung, and that's the last I ever saw it. I guess I was
kind of fouled it right into the dirt, sort of popped up, and Jacob Frick got it. But
I saw him running, everybody doing, but I never knew who had the ball.
Robbie's gone to the changeup a few times, took a little something off that one. But Bruce battling, stays alive. So still 0-2. Pitch on the way. Strike 3. Ball game's over. And the Cubs win.
You can't take that pitch.
No.
You can't take that.
Final score is the Cubs 5, the Tigers 2. Cubs celebrating. Some of the former Cub players out there celebrating with them. I see Patrick Tierney, Frank Beatty. Everybody's out shaking each other's hand. Well, I'll tell you what, Bridge, we'll step away for 1 minute and we'll be back to wrap it up. The final score is the Cubs 5, the Tigers 2, back in 60 seconds right here on Super Hit Country, AM 1380 WHRS.
Let all the coaches talk now. Let all the coaches talk. All of them got something they want to say. Okay.
Hey, did you make it go?
I'll save that for the creek.
Those 12 girls who are here tonight, who will go in the league, will receive one. These are in no particular order. The way that we wrote them out. The player's not here, and the coach is. Would you please come out and get it and take a picnic or whatever presents to the players. Brandon Clay. Hey. Luke Davis of the 8. Way to go, buddy. Ain't no way. God wasted a perfectly good miracle on this team winning the city championship.
The last one.
Yeah.
What else? Okay.
Davis not
Yeah,
here?
while you're in the free. I'll give you
Okay, here we go.
Y'all aren't really going to throw
Jacob Nichols.
Yes! You're in it. What?
No, the creek.
The creek. We're big.
Wes Omohundro.
When are we going to get
Wes here? There he comes. Come on, Wes.
turn off the field like this?
Brandon White. How's it, Brandon? Let's go, baby.
Tying during the time.
Yeah. Yes, it's not.
Can't believe it.
Joel Hillenberg.
Can we sit on Coach Connor?
When you give me my car, Coach.
Yeah, I want the
Miata.
Miata.
Oh, you do, huh?
We love you, Coach Connor.
I need somebody to do a play-by-play when we drop the coach.
Oh, me and Chris, we're carrying him over
I'll
on the
do it.
shoulders.
Ryan Richardson.
No,
Craig got the play-by-play.
Here, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Hey, Brett.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, you ready for next year now?
Still not on? Yeah, we are. Okay. Kenny Garant.
I miss you, man. Hey, Rob. Where you get up there and see
Wes Harrison. Luke Willoughby. Chris Edge. Kenny Lawrence. Jason Neely.
Hey, give this to my mom so I don't get this wet.
Which one, come on?
Jesus Christ.
Todd Strain. Austin Brashear. Scott Jennings. Come on, Scott. Let's go, baby. Scott Jones.
Whoa, that's Scott Jones.
Christopher Surratt.
All right. Chris. We were the underdogs. Everybody hated us. Underdogs always win.
We saw him here to mess with
The Bills are. You did not.
Y'all have really worked hard. Really worked hard.
Hey, Clay. Get ready to break, Clay. That one. Spain's sister. Oh. Kenny ran over. Did you see it? They called Kenny. You want to go swimming? Hey, they called Kenny.
Chris McCaffrey.
No.
Dad.
Everybody.
I didn't.
It's so
Stephen Reichel.
funny. Nobody said you didn't. There's Coach.
Adam Ruff.
Nobody said you didn't.
Somebody said what?
Cody's up there said you didn't.
Didn't what?
Said the Cody's up there fighting.
Oh, okay.
Randy Ballard. Okay.
This one will work.
Before this thing goes out again, I want to
Well,
give my congratulations to the Tigers, their coaching staff, on an excellent team and a great season. Like all the Cubs fans, everybody give them a big hand. I want to present my coaches first. Coach Earl Isaacs, Coach Chuck Harrison, Coach Tom Connor, Coach Jeff Johnson, Dr. Bill Brown.
We'll have to splice our tapes together.
Yeah.
The Cubs, Wes Harrison. I can stop saying their names because they're all nicknames. Jacob Free. Brian Embry. Robbie Baldwin.
Game, buddy.
Kenny Durant.
Kenny, we don't have all day.
John Matt Johnson. Van Crawford. Josh Michael.
All right.
James
There you go,
Russell
Josh.
Maxson.
There you go, Josh.
Chris Allen.
Here's that ball, Chris.
Thank you, moms and dads and everybody.
Chris, your honorary Cub now.
Do what?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Try to stay near the light, fellas. We want to get this
Gotta
on.
get a few more years out of him.
Coach, what are your feelings at this moment?
Well,
Oh!
Can you still smell and taste victory, or is
Come on, Dave.
or is that
I think I
come by
smell
the
and taste
sense?
that creek.
Get him in the defense.
How come you don't get Dr. Ballard?
Tell him to give him to somebody.
Losing him.
There we go.
Check, Clay.
Now remember, don't fall it, fellas. Walking along here.
Somebody died here. I'm going to trip.
Yeah. You're like almost.
Well, it had
Oh, we got him, baby.
Hey, hold up, fellas. We got to wait till the car comes.
Go, Randy!
Don't get that.
Careful now.
Wrong way. Here we go, right here. Right here. We are too.
No, hit the rocks.
Hit the rocks. Ricky Bob.
Any last minute sideways. Walk in the water. I can't get it.
How about 4 or 5 cups just Hey, Robbie. Well, it's worth it.
Where are your cigarettes?
They're gone. Oh, gracious. That old nasty creek, I'll probably have every kind of disease in the world.
Coach, think I get a little now, give everybody, give all your team players a hug.
No!
Stinkers.
Yeah, but they
You're
love
the
it.
one that's stinking.
They're getting docked now.
They hate to get dogged. Oh my God, they're gonna go get Billy.
Doc's gone. I think he got a flight out of town.
Well, at least ask.
Uh-oh. There they are. Uh-oh, they're getting in too? Yeah. Look, well, I'll just wait here. Well, hey, Nelson.
Most of them are not, but they did. And the thoughts of winning this city championship are the farthest thing from our mind. We started out and tried to work hard and teach them what it meant to do the very best they could. Won 3 ball games, and then we lost.
Dr. Ballard's turn. Dr. Ballard. Yep. Give it to me. I'm doing commentary.
Oh, it's not plugged in now.
Where
You
is
waited
it?
too long.
Where is it?
It's there. That's the end of it. It's got to be
Coach
plugged in.
Carnes going in there.
It's got to be plugged in right there.
Where is it?
Just plug it in.
Here,
give it to me. Find it.
Plug
it in right there.
I'm doing it.
Right there.
Hurry up.
That's fine.
Okay, now where's the?
Just find it.
Hey, here it comes.
It's in my pocket.
Is it on?
Go ahead and talk.
Ready? Can I go?
Hey, man. Yeah, go ahead. You're on.
Here I am. Here we are live at Likens Park. Out here by the creek. Dr. Ballard, the assistant coach, is going
Go
to
ahead and jump in, Billy. You might as well.
We've already had one coach be thrown in. The Cubs have won the city championship.
How you doing, Terry?
Okay, here we are live on the Tierney line. Now, Dr. Ballard is just now being thrown in while Mr. Coach Ballard has been thrown in. Say in your eye, big boy. Okay, he is now thrown in. He is now thrown in. He has an attitude problem with it. He thinks that everyone else should be thrown in. Now let's have a comment from some of the future Cubs. Mr. Frickin, Mr. Maynard, would you please come here live on the Tierney line?
I think that calmed him down. Them windmills got to him.
Mr. Frick, do you have a comment, sir?
No comment right now.
I got
Okay, wait, hold on, sir. Here we go live. to the pitcher of the 1994 City Championship Cubs. Let's hear it for Bull. Okay, just start talking.
Here you go, let me have
it.
Robbie pitched very good, although he's kind of terrible.
Let me see this. Okay, would we like to have any more comments here live on the City Championship show?
Interview that on
Here's a comment. Okay, Ben Crawford here, he's a 9-year-old. He plays for the Cubs. Our Cubs are awful heavy. Oh, there's a nice comment. Here's a comment from our catcher, Jacob Fripp.
Dr. Robbie Ball. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. What should I say, Brett? Okay, Robbie Baldwin, say something. What?
Baseball's been very, very good to me.
Baseball's been very, very good to me. Okay, that was a very important comment here by Robbie Maynard. Now, we don't need any. Robbie, give me a hat or something. Robbie Baldwin. There he is. Is his name? No. Here's Pop. Hey, come here, number 2. Wave to the coach of the Cubs. Please have a comment here.
It's been great fun. It's been a great season. This is a good bunch of boys, great coaching staff, and I'm wet. Thank you.
Mr. Ballard here, quoting on how he was wet. Who else should? Graham Johns. Mr. Johns, would you please come forward on the Tierney line?
You have a question on the Tierney line.
Did you enjoy doing commentary on the City Championship?
I enjoyed it very much. So it was a very well played game and good pitching job over here by Rob Baldwin. Good defense behind him. Some timely hitting, including the big hit by Wes Harrison. A lot of fun. Congratulations to the Cubs.
What'd you say when?
We'd like to congratulate Wes Harrison on his very long hit. Mr. Maynard, he was a pitcher last year in the City Championship. He may have a comment here.
Yeah, I taught Robbie everything I know. He did all right, and I carried both Coach Ballard's in, and I dunked them both. All right.
Okay, let's walk on down.